Well, hello and good evening. Let's have a look. It's Friday again. I'll wait until there's a few people watching. Just get my phone up here. Oh, we're there already. Goodness gracious me. Oh, I feel as though I'm going to sneeze. Let's see, we have that. We have that there. Hello, Vanessa. How are you? Yes, it's Friday. Again, it's Friday. So happy Friday to those of you that work during the daytime. It's time to relax, time to have 2 days off and get a little bit of sewing in. Hello, Liz. Lovely to see you this evening. And there's Maria too. So yes, I can see there's quite a few of you coming on, which is lovely. Hello, Kirsty. Hello, Gita. And hello, Bridget. Where's the Friday? Hello, Pat. Lovely to speak to you this morning. Hello, Susan and Vanessa. Did you put up? Vanessa, I didn't. I did say a little bit about it. Hello, Christine. Hello, Judith. Hello, Dorothy. That was last weekend, supposedly. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Gita. Hello, Christine. Margaret's in the wrong place. Hello, Rena. Hello, Pamela. Yes, last weekend I'd set aside, but it didn't happen. Hello, Marilyn. Well, actually, hi, Sharon. I started, but I had to clear a space for where I was going to put it. Hello, Jill. Hello, Sue. What's he doing? And it took me so long to clear the space, and it is still not cleared. Hello, Alison. Hello, Elaine. Good evening. Hello, Yvonne. So, I can't say it'll be this weekend. I've got a lot going on. Hello, Linda. So I am desperate. I'm in the group for Cutie Breeze owners, and I keep seeing people saying how wonderful it is, and I'm itching to get going, but it's not set up yet. Hello, Marilyn. Hello, Sarah. I will get there, and I will show you how it works. Hello, Angela. I don't know if I'll show the setting up because it could take a while. Some people say they got it done in half an hour. Others say 2 hours plus. Hello, Angela. Hello, Raina. So, but I can't wait to get going. My arms are moving that handle, and I'm trying to do it before it's even set up. Hello, Sandra. Hello, Margaret. Oh, did I miss somebody there? And hello, Elaine. Oh, no, we said hello to Raina. Hello, Jill. Hello, John. If you're there, you might be at work. I don't know. So, what was I going to say? Yes, last night we had the haberdashery sale, and thank you so much to everybody who tuned in and bought so much to give me a little bit of space. And thank you for all your emails. Johnny's here. Hi, John. And yeah, thank you for all your emails so quickly. Hi, Tony. No, it's not Saturday, not yet. Hello, Sue. Yes, you've got your emails in and your payments, and it's fantastic. So I have got I've got Monday morning is out of the window. I've got a fabric supplier coming along. And hi, Sandra. Hello, Elaine. Oh, it was a great sale. Yeah, I love doing it. An hour and a half we were on, and the vast majority of people stuck with me right till the end. And even my mum said, hi, Jill. Even my mum said she got in from WY at 10 o'clock and picked the iPad up, and there I was. So she watched me and didn't go to bed till 11:45. Yes, that's a mum for you. Hello, Lynn, and hello, Paula. So, yes, thank you for all of that. I've still got a little bit of fabric if anybody else has had a look. If you're looking for some fabric. Yes, Dorothy, there you are. You preempted what I was saying. Oh, dear, yes, take it easy, Jill. You've got to be ready for next weekend. Yes, it won't be it won't be next weekend. We've got the sew along next weekend. Oh. So, yes, Dorothy, we do have, yeah, I was going to say a little bit about that in a minute, Vanessa. Do have a little bit of fabric left. I have the Lucky Dip of Macawa fabrics, Christmas fabrics. Hi, Marion. Hello, Amanda. Oh, you're welcome. Hello, Patsy, and hello, Patricia. And I've got some of the Stoff fabrics left. I've got a bit of all of them actually. It was just some of the haberdashery have sold out completely. Hello Sandra. So just drop me an email and say, do you have this by any chance? We had cam snaps, they went pretty well, but there's the odd one left. Hi Janet, and hello Sue. Never mind. Oh, that will be good. Lovely, enjoy yourself. So yes, as I say, drop me an email just in case, and I'll let you know what I have left. So, yes, I think you probably all have seen the statement that Create and Craft popped on Facebook today, and it is really quite sad. Hello Linda. I wasn't going to talk about it really because there's a lot of, what would I say, animosity. There is a lot of commenting which is uncalled for, as well as a lot of empathy with everybody who may or may not lose their jobs, etc., and suppliers. Now, I don't think it's set in stone that they won't survive. I know I have no inside information. It's just what I have seen and heard. Hello Barbara, hello Jane. But I think the main thing, there are cash flow difficulties at the present. As you've seen over the last few months, a lot of people have gone over to, a lot of the suppliers have gone over to Hobby Maker, which is fine. You know, suppliers change from one to the other. It has always happened. And their staff have left. And in my mind, I've been thinking what's going on for a little while now. Hello, Kim. Oh, I'm glad you're recovering. Jolly good. And you rest from your bed. So hopefully, just like previously, when Paul Wright, who'd owned Hochanda and Craft Store, he then bought up the old name Create and Craft, I suppose in the hope of getting all their customer base. And that was last November, so in less than 12 months, this investment company took over. Hello, Linda. And in less than 12 months, things are not as good as they could be. Hi, Leslie. Now, what I will say, a lot of people are saying, why couldn't they? Hi, Maxine. Lovely to see you. What a lot of customers will say, who don't know the ins and outs of shopping TV, and wonder why Create and Craft were not able to offer free postage, as a lot of independent stores do, and as Amazon for a monthly fee give you all of that free postage and next day delivery. Hello Karen. Yes, I know, we all feel for everybody, Janet. It's awful. And the supplier, no, oh, that's what I was saying about, wasn't I? Lovely to see you, Maxine. Hi, Beverly. The thing is, as you know, postage is horrific. So, even though they're a large company, an online store like myself, or doing Facebook Lives, I do not have the overheads of rent and rates, etc., that a bricks and mortar shop will have. So, you know, small businesses with a shop will have, you know, really quite a huge amount of overheads, more than I do. And then the shopping channels, they have horrendous amounts, which is what people don't think about. Airtime costs a lot of money. It costs thousands a day. Hence, I believe that they are putting repeats on just to give people something to watch. At the moment, you can't buy. You can watch what's on, but nothing will be new. Yes, oh, did she? So Barbara Gray did a Facebook Live this morning. She didn't speculate because she only found out last night. Absolutely. Now, I did see a statement from Barbara saying that Clarity will honour all of the orders that have been taken through Create and Craft, which I think is wonderful, at their own expense, and post them out. Because obviously, as a supplier, you don't pay postage. So she is continuing to do that. And what I would say, any of the suppliers that have been on Create and Craft, you can deal with them direct and it doesn't affect their. So I think Barbara will be doing a Facebook Live for her sales this weekend, because she was supposed to be on Create and Craft. I also think Hazel Eaton, who demonstrates for a few people, has her own brand of stamp. She will be doing a Facebook, or she has done one today, whether she'll do another one as well. So support these people, because I don't know amounts, but if invoices haven't been paid, you know, that's all that product that a supplier has to buy and will be getting no money for at all. So there was another supplier who was going to ensure that all the orders went out, because, you know, at the end of the day, I'm sure you can understand a supplier, if they're not getting paid for them, although money's being paid by the customer, they are bound to feel, that's right, it was Natasha, that's right. The supplier's going to feel the pinch. So I think, you know, I think well done to those suppliers for taking it on the chin and saying, let's crack on. What more can you do, actually? You've got to keep going, haven't you? So where you can, if you support all those little individual businesses, I'm sure they will appreciate it. I do feel for all the staff, should they lose their jobs, but it's not set in stone yet. You know, I haven't heard that it's gone into liquidation, anything like that. So let's just hope that things, you know, the cash flow does. They perhaps need another investor for some cash to go in. So fingers crossed, because we don't want to lose, for all the faults that they may have had, or things that you didn't particularly like that they do. Okay, yes, yeah. Yes, that's right. It is more personal on Facebook, Jill. You know, it may continue, and hopefully it does. So, fingers crossed for them. I just think now it will be hard for them. It will be very hard. We're just talking about Create and Craft and what's happening and what's not happening, as in suppliers. Some suppliers haven't been paid for 2, if not 3 months, and customer orders are not being fulfilled at present. But we're hoping for positive news from them. And as I was going to say, the only thing that I'd feel, it's trust. You know, I think a little bit of trust has been lost by a lot of customers if things don't come through that they've paid for. So we'll have to see. But I just hope there's no, you know, I've read things, well, I could see it coming, well, they deserve it. I just think it's the wrong thing to say. Nobody deserves it. Hello, Caroline. You know, it's money. Money makes the world go around, and money ebbs and flows, doesn't it? At the moment, it's not flowing in their direction enough or quickly enough for them to proceed as they normally do. So I'll leave that there. But as I say, if you would like to support those local, or your local independent ones, or people, you know, that you have bought from in the past, if you deal with them direct, I'm sure they would be more than pleased to take your business on. And I know every small supplier, or even the larger suppliers, they do appreciate your business, whether it be through the shopping channels or direct with them. So you're right, Vanessa, running a business isn't easy. For me, it isn't easy at times. It takes all of your time. At which point I'll say, if you've forgotten, Sundays, please don't be offended if I don't respond to emails or messages. It is my family time, but sometimes, hi Diane, sometimes I choose to catch up on the work that I wanted to have got done. And I probably will, so this Sunday too. But as I say, please don't be offended if I don't respond straight away. There's Saturday, I've got things I'm doing on Saturday, but if it is crucial, by all means, send a message on Hi Virginia on the Saturday and I'll see what I can do. Anyhow, shall we get started? We've all got our fingers crossed for everybody. But as I was saying, a lot of these suppliers are doing what I've been doing for some years now. And I know it's not the same coverage as thousands and thousands of people, but I'm happy with my lot. I love having you watching me and making the projects that I show you and enjoying them. And that's all I do, Beverly, don't I? Thank you. Hello, Marilyn. Oh, you hadn't heard anything, Marilyn. I tell you, on my Facebook feed, it is every other line. So I know that some people do not understand the full ins and outs. We do all need to support, absolutely do. So, oh, thank you, Janet. Do I have a life? Martin says, we don't have a life. Well, I think we do. Oh, thank you, Gita. Absolutely, absolutely. It is much more personal. And even my mum said to me when she was watching me last night, later on, she said, oh, it was lovely. She said, I felt as if I'd got you sitting in the chair next to me. So I thought, if she feels that, when some of you ladies say that to me, it probably feels like that to you, that I'm sitting right by your side and helping you with your project as you are sewing. So that's really good. I mean, obviously it's difficult for me sitting here to know that's how you're feeling, but I know some of you tell me from time to time, and that's really lovely. So I do appreciate all of your friendships and the way you support me always. And, you know, it means that I can tick on, you know, I can tick over. Okay, I shall never be a millionaire. I won't be a, you know, multi-thousands even. But I don't want to, I don't care. My main aim is to make you happy. Oh, doesn't that sounds pathetic. But no, my main aim, oh, that looked fabulous, Caroline. Martin. My main aim is to see all of you making more projects that you'd never ever think you would tackle, and then being pleased with them. Really. And I see it so many times. Oh, I don't want compliments. You know, you are so good. You're so kind to me. And that is my satisfaction, knowing that you're making these projects. I mean, that was a little bit of a blast from the past, Caroline, the Zippy Keeper, and it looked fabulous. And I tell you what, I mean, you may think I do everything perfectly. You've seen of late that I make mistakes too, and I always have done. Janet, stop it. Stop it. But if you were to put your make against mine, I don't think you'd be able to tell the difference. And I think all of you listen, or you look back at the videos again, and you take on board all the little tips that I give you, and you use them. It makes life easier, and you come out with outstanding results. So it is absolutely brilliant. And I think that's why I love my life. I don't go too many places. I don't have holidays all the time, but just doing this is a holiday for me. So, lovely, lovely. Yes, I know. Yes. Yeah, I think small suppliers, I don't think any of us have had, any of us smaller suppliers, the independents, have had training in how to run a business. Leslie, have a look on the website. I'm sure the PDF is there for the Zippy Keeper. It's a lovely little project. Or have a look. Now, this is the thing, because you're in the groups Sew with Trisha, and also, if some of you have never joined Sew Trisha Sews, so that's spelled S-O Trisha Sews, all of the projects that people make are in there. Have a look down it. That's where they all are. And also in the group, the paid group, the £5 a month group, all the information that you'll ever need, I put in there. So you'll be able to see, but all of the PDFs are on the website. So you'll see it on the website. Have a look in the group where everybody shares their makes, and you'll be able to see it. Yes. You call your sewing a nightmare. Oh, no. I'm sure it isn't really. Okay. I've got fish and chips being delivered at 7:30 tonight. So, I know what I've got to do first. let's pop that just there so I can see it. I was going to show you, because I think I was going to do it the other night, but I forgot. I was going to show you, through popular request, how to put your zipper pull onto your continuous zip. So I grabbed this piece so that I could show you tonight. So my fingernails are an absolute disgrace, so don't look closely at my fingernails. You're just looking at the zip and the zipper pull, and I'll see if I can make this work for you. So what I would say, if your project needs a 10-inch zip and you are using a continuous piece, always cut it a little bit longer, because when you put your zip pull on, more often than not, you will get one side of the zip tape is longer than the other. And, oh, bonsoir, Mary. Mary's in à la France at the moment. Bonjour, bonsoir. You're probably an hour ahead of us. So it's dark here, so it'll be even darker with you, but enjoy. So cut your zip a little bit longer than you need, because you may have to trim an end off and the other end as well. So let's have a look. I'm going to pop the camera down so that hopefully you can see. And we'll do it in this dark little space here. I've got a black zip because I thought you'd be able to see that a little bit better. So you can see from your zip pull, it's got a rounded end. It's almost, well, it's like an arrow. It's pointing. Can I show you that there? Let's have a look. If I pop it like that, okay. So it's a bit like an egghead, isn't it? Whoops, let's put it there. So you want it facing that way, because your little pieces of the zip tape go into each side. So let me have a look there. And if I can grab, have to be a pen. Right, there's a little hole here and a little hole here. So this is below the little pull, just below. I think the light shining through it here and here. And your one side is going in this and one side is going in there. So if you hold your zip pull like that, just trying to get the best angle for you to see. So if you hold your zip pull, let's see if we're coming a little bit closer. Oh, that's better. Hold your zip pull facing that way, and then just pull your zip apart. So you've got two little bits like this. Now, depending on whether you're left or right hand, depends. I tend to put my left side in first. That's it, that's down there. So I'm just going to tuck the end of the zip into there, and that will actually go down quite a way. But you only want to tuck it in a little way, just so it goes in just about the length of that, of the pull itself. Now I grab hold of both of it, okay? So I'm holding the pull and the zip in the place. Then I grab the other side, and that will only click in probably one click. Oh, that's gone in two. So it's held in place. Now very carefully at that point, I pop it down. Whoops. And yes, you can see there. I pop it down onto a surface. I've lifted the little tab out of the way. Then I put two fingers, one on each side of the zip tape, like that. Then I can hold the pull, and I'm going to wiggle it from side to side. So I'm pulling that way, but I'm also wiggling. So I'll go, whoop, and then hopefully, there we are. And then it goes straight on. Now what you can do, if you pull all of that open, you can zip it all the way. Oh, why did I cut such a long piece? So you can zip it all the way to the other end. And then if you want, you can pull it back so that it evens itself up. Okay. Oh, I've got my hand out there. So I'm going to show you it once more. Okay. So I've pulled it right off now. So I'm going to take us back to this end. Okay. So let me show you again. So the zip pull, you see there, it's got a rounded tip. Am I in the right place? Yeah. I've got a rounded tip and a flat bottom. We would always like a flat bottom, wouldn't we? So rounded tip. So as I say, I've got that in my hand. I'm holding onto the pull. I'm just going to open up my zip. Now, if it doesn't work, you can always try the other end of the zip, because sometimes a zip will only work from one end. It shouldn't do, but I've done that before and thought, why is this not working? Turned my zip around and started the other end, and first time. Jane's tried it and it really does work. It does, doesn't it? Okay, so I'll show you once again. So I'm putting my left hand side into the left there. Actually, I'm going to lift the tab up for a start when I pop that in, and that will go in. That will go in quite a long way, but we'll take it into about the depth of the pull. And then I'm going to pop the other one in, which will only click in a couple of spaces, but it's held. I'm not pulling it hard, but I'm just pulling it a little bit. So once it's held, pop it down onto a surface, flick up the little lip, and then when you pick the tab up, I'm going to wiggle it. So I'm pulling it that way, but I'm also wiggling. So, oh, you see, it's not going to work for me that time. I think, let me start again. Let's just pull that. So make sure you've got enough. So I perhaps pushed it on a little bit too far. So sometimes it does. Now, I don't want that little bit. That can also affect things. Having a little bit of the tape fraying. So let's just pull that up there and push that bit in. Right, I can feel that's gone in, and hopefully this time it will. So wiggle, wiggle, there it goes. So we are on. And so, as I said, can you see there's just a tiny bit left, more than one side than the other, but you can trim that off and then cut your zip to the length that you want. So I hope that, yes, the zip hook thing, I'll let you into a little secret. It is exactly the same as a towel holder. And I actually, you do it better. I have always cut off 1 inch on the second side, wasting zip, yeah. So don't push too much down to start off with. But what I would say, it is a little bit more difficult if you've already stitched both pieces onto fabric. But just try again and just get as little as possible onto, when you pop the zipper pull on, just put as little as possible into the zipper pull, and it should be, you'd get away with that little bit even on when it's already onto fabric. So oh, thank you, Marilyn. It's not quite as bad showing you how to do this now. I told you a tale of about 7 years ago when I was demonstrating for Crafter's Companion. I had to put a zip pull on TV, broadcast live, you know, live TV, and I had to put, and I was, well, what do we say? I was almost wetting myself having to do it, but it worked, and I was really pleased. And then we went to a break, and when we came back again, he asked me to do it again. Matt McNamara, lovely bloke, lovely chap, but he asked me to do it again, but it worked. So that is how we put the zip pull on. Okay, I'm glad you, it's helped. Give it a go. That is a size 5 zip, but it will work exactly the same for size 3. So let us move on to what we are going to, oh, pardon me, doing tonight. We are going to make this little, I've called it an origami purse because there's a little bit of folding. It's not really origami, but, and what we have here, we have one pocket there. We have a pocket in the middle. And if we turn it around, we have a pocket in the other side. So again, we have 3 pockets. Okay. And how nice and neat and how easy it is going to be. So shall I show you where we start? Right, we're going to start with a circle. That's what I meant to ask you. Here we have a square purse, pouch, whatever. And what shape would you think we start off with? We start off with a circle. So I have got my circle ready cut. And what I use to cut my circle is a plate. I've just used a dinner plate, which I popped onto my fusible fleece and I cut around it. I was very naughty. I used my rotary cutter around the edge of my plate. Bless Wilco's. Oh, they've gone now. So I have cut the shape of my wadding or my plate on here. This one is going to be, I'm sure my plate was a little bit smaller for this one, but I cut my circle in the wadding and I have fused it to the wrong side of some fabric. Now, I'm sorry I haven't got any more of this fabric left. A lot of you have got this in kits for the sew along and I've used it all. But there was a little bit just big enough to be able to do this. So, first thing, cut your circle. I wouldn't go any smaller than a dinner plate because this has turned out, this is about 4 inches square or 4 by 3.5. So I think that started from about a 10-11 inch circle. So this is, let me just see what this is. Oh, that must have been smaller than that. This is 11 inches. This is 11-inch diameter. So the biggest circle that you can get, or dinner plate, I should say. So having fused just the fusible fleece, which you love, and so do I, to the reverse. So that's the right side. There, it's onto the reverse. I've now got, so this is going to be my main outer piece, like the red. This is going to be my trim. Oops. So I have got another piece of fabric, just a square. I haven't cut all circles out because this is a far easier way of, I'm just lining that up at that side. There we are. It's far easier, oh yeah, that's it, to cut your circle in the wadding, stitch through both layers and then trim the excess off. So you can see I've got my outer fabric placed onto my right side of my lining fabric. So that light blue is going to come here. And you're just going to see how easy this is. So where is my pin station? Oh, of course, I've used all my pins, haven't I? Whoops, here I go. Just grab my pin station. So at this point, I'm actually going to use a couple of pins. So I'm just, because it's a largish circle, I'm going to put a couple of pins there, or let's put 3, just to hold all the layers together. So now, doesn't matter what foot you use, because we're going to stitch right around the edge. We're stitching onto the fabric, but around the edge, that very outer edge of our circle. So let me just pop that on there. And I'm going to use a small stitch length like we do in patchwork, a number 2, because it gives you a much smoother curve when we come to cutting the excess fabric away. And we are going to leave a gap. So let me put, I'll put a pin here. We don't need too big a gap, but I'll put a pin there just so I know that's where I'm going to stop. Let's just bring that round there. So as you can see, and I'm just going to reverse that first little bit, because when we pull the fabric through, it is going to pull that opening a little bit. Oh, you know what I meant to do and I didn't? I meant to change my needle and I haven't. So I'm going fairly slowly, just stitching around so that I'm going right on the edge. I don't want to stitch onto my wadding, because the whole idea here is that we don't have any wadding. Oh, that's just it. We don't have any wadding in our seam. So if I did stitch on the wadding, I would have 2 pieces of wadding and 2 pieces of fabric all around the edges. But this way it's going to, there we are, I'm coming up to the very start. So let's see, yeah, that's about right. So I've got, and I've left my gap, just reverse there. So I don't know if you'll be able to see, but there's a gap. It's about 2.5 inches. So I'm going to take these pins out now, and I'm going to get my scissors, and I'm going to start just here. But what I'm going to do, this is where I've got the gap here. So where I've got the gap, I'm going to leave probably 1/2 inch or so of excess fabric. So I'm going to start here, and then around the bulk of it, I'm going to trim to about 1/8 inch. So I'm not leaving 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm just going to trim around here, leaving half of that normal seam allowance, so about 1/8 inch. That way we won't have to trim with pinking shears or snip all round a curved edge like we usually do. So let's just keep trimming this away. And also by using that short stitch length of a 2, we will get, when we turn this to the right side, it's going to give us a lovely smooth curve all the way around the edge. So we're nearly at that point where I started, and oh, that went a bit close. And then I'm going to clip that off. So I'm going to clip that selvage away, but it still leaves me with about 1/2 inch. Okay, so that is going to be on the inside. So now I'm going to turn it to the right side. So through our gap, let's just tuck that through. And the smaller the gap you can leave, the better, because the less you've got to turn in to keep that smooth line. But you don't want it so small that it rips open your gap. So that is turning through really, really nicely. And once it's turned through, I should really try and find my knitting needle, or I haven't got one of those prim edges. I did have at one point, so where that's gone, I don't know. So you can either put your finger in there. You can see already that looks nice and smooth. I have got a paintbrush. Oh, there it is. Paintbrush around here. So it's quite long. So I'm just going to push that in and just go all around that edge like that to just push that seam out. And you can see, as I say, without even pressing it, how it has actually given a nice smooth edge around here. So I'm just going to bring in, or move this over to the ironing board, and I need to put another cover on it because, there we go. So I've got it on there, and I'm just going to press around the edges, coming up. I'm leaving that opening for the time being. That's it, just turn that over there. So you can see that lovely, lovely smooth edge. And then at the opening here, because the wadding's there, that gives me a nice edge to just push that in. And then we can bring that one out, so I can give that a little press just in, so I'm not pushing it any further than that wadding, that fusible fleece, because that's giving me the exact curve that I want. And then the lining piece, I'm just going to pull that out just to meet. So you can't see, there we are. So I'm just meeting the edge. And when we see, now can you see that's not too bad at all, but that having the longer or the wider piece of fabric there, I'm just pressing that now. There, you can hardly see, there was a little pointy bit there. So let's just push that in a little bit further. That's better. Okay, so you want really to be able to not notice that is open. That is where the gap you left. I'm just trying to pull that little bit of thread and clip that off. There we are. So the next thing we're going to do is stitch all the way around the edge to close that gap. Okay, so I will start at the gap. Okay, and I'm going to stitch quite close to that edge. So I'll turn it up to about a 2.5 now, and let's see, and we'll stitch around the edge, trying to get as close as we can. I'll tell you what I'm going to do in a minute. I'm going to do it now. I'm going to change my needle. I can't stand, can you hear that little click, 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 click? I've got one here. Oh, that's all fallen out. Oh, I must have a needle in the bottom here. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's great when they fall out, isn't it? Oh no, that's a broken one. Okay, I have a reserve. Not those, not those. Let's have a look. Where did I put them? There. Right. 80/12s. Let's just show you how to change a needle. So now this is where the needle hasn't broken, and I know some of you will say, I don't change my needle until it breaks. So I've taken a new needle out of there, pop that in there, and so the needle, you can see this little, there's a little screw here. Good idea, if you're not happy doing this, is to put, let's put the needle over there, a piece of paper or something underneath here, so that if it should fall, can't even find a piece, oh there we are. So if you want to put something under there, so if the needle will fall out, you don't, can you tell me how much? Oh right. Yeah, if the needle falls out, it's not going to drop into your machine. So I'm just unscrewing it just a little bit, it's towards me, and then I can take it out. So I kept hold of it and take it out. Now I can actually see, looking at that, it's blunted, not good at all. So now you will notice, oh I should have looked there, your machine more than likely, there's a flat edge and a rounded edge, and the flat edge should go to the back. On this machine it goes to the side, and I'm sure it will tell me and not fit if I'm putting it the wrong way. Oh, that's it. So mine flat side goes to my right. So I've pushed it as far up as it will go, and then I'm going to tighten that screw. There we go. So I can now take that away and rethread. So let's pull that down. I can feel that's gone in, and that's it. So that's how you change your needle. There's a little screw here. Unscrew it, take the needle out, and then I've popped the new one back in. So let's have a look. I'm going to carry on from where I stopped and see how we go now. Oh, that's so much better. Now I don't know if you can hear the difference, but I can. It kept making a little click, 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 and that sounds, and it will be stitching so much better than with the old needle. But then you see, I did say I was going to change it on Tuesday, and I didn't, but I have now. So we'll just carry on stitching the whole way around this edge, and then we'll start making the magic. So almost there. There we go. I wish it was still light outside, so much nicer. Okay, so there we are. We have gone all the way round. Trim those threads away, and I'll trim that bit where I stopped and started, just there and just there too. So the next thing we're going to do, we are going to fold it in half. Now let's have a look. Let's do, no, depends what you want. So I'm going to fold it in half with my outer fabric on the outside, because it's the light blue. I want the lining fabric I want to show as my arc. So I'm going to align that edge, and if you want to pop a clip there at the moment, and there, just hold that, there we go, And what I'm going to do, I'm going to use pins to help me here. We are going to stitch a line from one edge to the other. So I'm going to do it about, and I'm going to put pins in there just to see if that is the length that I want. So I'm just going to grab, where is my little, let's grab a ruler. Didn't get the one I wanted, but, so let's put our, I'll take these off now because that's holding pretty well. So if I take it 2 inches from the edge in here, and then if I put a pin at the bottom there and the top there and in the middle there. So this is just trial to see if I need to do a smaller amount. So as I say, this is 2 inches and I think it's going to be too much actually. So what we'll then do is open that. I want to fold this flat. Yes, it's far too much. So this gives a rough, so 2 inches is far too much. That's what we're going to do, and that's too big. So we are going to do it. I'll take the take that pin out because it's pulled it a little bit. I am going to do it 1.5. So let's put our ruler on the edge. That's 1.5. I think that might be all right. So 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. So I'm going to put a pin down here to hold this. I'm actually going to draw a line. So I'm putting a pin to hold all those layers together so that my edges are together. And actually it doesn't really matter what pin I use because, so I'm doing this, as I say, 1.5 inches. I'm going to put a line, I'm just drawing a line because you're not going to see that line. So I've drawn a line there and I'm going to stitch on that line. Also, it doesn't matter what colour thread, and I'm going to reverse at the start. There we go, and I'm just going to stitch out that. That's why I don't use pins, because they stick in me. Look, blood. Oh, it's only red blood, it's not blue blood, so I'm quite normal. There we are. So I'm just stitching on that line and reversing at the other end as well. And then I'm going to flatten it. So let's cut that piece of thread. I'm going to flatten that down. That's better. So we want that to be in the middle. Oh dear. Okay, so I'm going to flatten it in half so that that point is exactly in the middle there. I'm trying not to get blood on here as well. So let us just, I'm going to pop that just, oh, we'll be able to see that's not quite the middle because that's not the same at each side. Right, that is now. So that outer edge there has got exactly the same amount of dark material at each side. Okay. Just flatten that down like so. And then we are going to fold it up like that. Okay, now what should happen, we're going to line up that top edge there because that is going to be our halfway point. We are going to look at this piece here and know that we are going to stop stitching at the top of this point because, while I clap those together, that is going to fold over there once we have stitched down the sides. So just make sure that is upright there. So as I say, you can pop a clip there to hold it together and a clip here at that end. Let's just hold that nicely there. Okay, And then we're going to stitch from this point here. So wherever the top of your circle bit, we're going to stitch through both layers here and also on this other side as well. But I'm going to, once I've stitched one side, I'm going to stitch this side first. So you're going to make sure these two folds are on top of each other. So let's go here. So I would go sort of 1/8 of an inch or so in and just keep looking down this edge just to make sure that all of those, and reverse at the bottom, all of those edges are aligned. So having stitched there, I'm going to look over to this side here and just make sure that that is the same there. So we can try it out before we stitch. That comes down there. That looks, yep. So I'm just trying, or it can come a little bit higher there. Okay, so I'm going to stitch, well, I'm going to stitch from the other side actually, so I can stitch down to the fold. So making sure your top edges are aligned, and then I'm going to put the needle in where the pin is there, and I'm going to just stitch reverse there, and then just make sure that that folded edge are both on top of each other. So as I say, I wouldn't stitch right on the very edge because you might miss, you might not catch one side. So this way, 1/8 of an inch in, still looks fine. Don't cut your fabric when you're doing that. Okay. Oops, a little bit just there. So you've got one pocket, you've got two, and you've got one in the middle. And then all we're going to do is fold that over like that. Make sure your flap is hitting both sides, and you know where the center is because you've got that seam line going up the middle there. So I'm just going to put a little dot there. I'm going to make a hole in that, and then actually keep that down whilst we turn it over and fold that one over and make sure that lines up at the top. So again, that goes from one side to the other. Put a little dot for our pin, for our cam snap, and then if I can find my, oh yes, seam ripper here. So seam ripper, so before I'm just going to make a mark. So if I put my seam ripper in there and it pops through and I can see under here where it is, and I can put a little dot, and then on this other side I'll put my seam ripper, just poke it in, lift it up so that you can see, and you know it's going to go on that. So there is my, you can see there, I've got the, and I put a little dot where my seam ripper is going in. And then all I'm going to do, oh, we're doing really, really well, is I'm going to get myself, I couldn't find my blue ones, I'm going to get myself white. So I'm going to put my, oh, I'm going to put the, make a little hole in here first. So I'm making a hole with my seam ripper very carefully. I'll do all of them before I carry on. So I put that in that side. Put your finger inside here because we know where, no, actually, you might be able to get your, I wouldn't cut this. So where this seam is, your, so on this bottom one, let's do this here. This little point is going to come between the stitches. So no cutting, but just, I'm just poking that. And you see, can you see that there? That's come right in the seam in between the stitches. So this one is going to have, I like an innie. So I've got that there, and I like the hand pliers for this because it's easy. So straight in there and clench. While we're doing that, I'm going to do this side as well. So this is the button one that goes on the inside. Find roughly where, and you're going in the seam rather than through fabric. Let's see if we can get, oh, are we coming there? No, I'm going into, so you might have to just wobble about a bit. Oh, just push that through. Oh, I think we're coming there. So I'm just push. There we are. If you do get right in that seam allowance, oh, I could have a look, couldn't I? That's better. I got right. If you look inside, you can see the seam allowance, and that's gone in there. So I've got a little white bit there. So I'm just going to find another innie, put that on the top, and then I just put my thumb and finger on there to hold it, pop the button part into the cup, swivel it round, squeeze, and then we can do the easy ones, which are here. So button on the outside and outie on the inside. So there's my outie. Similar again, I've got my finger on either side here. So button into there and clinch that together. And then on the other side here, button on the outside. And I think perhaps I didn't cut that one, but I did, yes. There's my little white bit through. And then I want another outie. There is the out. Oh no, that's an innie. There's the outie. Yeah. So try not to put the wrong one in place because they are really hard to get out. Okay. So pop that lid back over so I don't spill them all. So there is my one popper. Pop that over. And there is my other one. Pop that over. I'm just going to take it to the iron. I'm just going to press the tops here just to hold the flap. So just a little bit of steam. I'm not ironing the buttons because it will probably melt them. So I'm just ironing at the top corners there, and we will trim that little bit of thread off. Was there another bit? No. But there we are. Isn't it a lovely quick make? So there's your one pocket. There's your two in the middle. And there's your three. So easy. The only fabrics you need are as big as whatever your circle will be. But isn't that typical where I have actually got where I started and stopped on my top flap, which is not the best, but never mind. But that's nice and smooth around there. So, nice and easy yet again, as I say. But what it means is you've got all weekend to play making these lovely little pouches, and not difficult at all, do you think? So number one, let's just see if that is, oh no, it's slightly, yeah, slightly longer because the plate was just that little bit bigger, and that's why. But easy peasy. I am going to write a book. I've got a book, somebody's ordered one and I've forgotten all about it. I've got a My Little Book of Christmas gift bags, which I shall be bringing that back again. I haven't had it out for a couple of years, but I'm going to do another one of My Little Book of mini pouches, or no, what do I call it? My Little Book of, and it's going to be all the little mini pouches that we've done that are lovely and easy to make. So it's 17:29 or 19:29 even. It is 29 minutes past 5, and I think we've done amazingly. So all I need to let you know now is next week, I don't know if somebody's watching, I did see a message come in, how much is it for the Sew with Trisha group? It is £5 per month. So next Tuesday we will be doing, I will enjoy my fish and chips, I cannot wait. Oh, I think they've just arrived, amazing. It's Sew a Row, and so we are going to start putting the quilt together, because I thought we'd have a little bit of time, rather than working to the last minute and only 1 month to put it together. We would spend a couple of months doing the little bits which you never usually see, which is to put, if we're going to put borders or sashing, or if we're, and when we're going to quilt it and layer it up, quilt it and bind it, so that we do all of it to give a little bit of tuition the whole way through. So that will be Tuesday, and then Thursday and Friday, I don't know. But so all I can say now is thank you so much for joining me tonight. It has been my absolute pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And what I've forgotten to say when we're on the So Totally Trisha page, don't forget to like and share this video. So when you see it on your timeline, it would be wonderful if you shared this video to get it out to all those people out there who may like to join us. So take care of yourselves, and thank you for joining me tonight. I'll see you next week. Have a great weekend and hope it's good and sunny. Bye for now.